Welcome back to the deep dive. I was sitting in a coffee shop this morning and just listening to the hum of conversation, and it hit me.
Hmm.
English it's like a Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
It's this bizarre, stitched together thing of, Shakespearean poetry, rigid legal contracts, and then just absolute internet chaos.
It certainly covers a massive spectrum. Yeah, you
Yeah.
have the Queen's English on one side, and then you have meme culture and TikTok comments on the other. It's a lot for one language to hold.
Exactly. And I think most of us grow up with this sort of low-level anxiety that there is a rule book somewhere.
Right, a big dusty book locked in a vault.
Yes. And if you break the rules or if you dangle a participle, you're just bad at English. You're uneducated. But today, we're looking at research that suggests the complete opposite. We're diving into an analysis of 5 ways the English language breaks its own rules.
And it's a fascinating premise because it really challenges that core assumption we all have, that correct English is logical English.
Right. The sources we have today basically argue that standard, totally correct English just ignores logic all the time. So the mission for this deep dive is to prove to you, the listener, that what might look like bad grammar is actually a really sophisticated tool. It's not an error, it's a feature.
Precisely.
Oh.
It really boils down to this conflict between two heavyweights. You have grammar on one side, that's the form, the rigid structure, and then you have meaning on the other, the intent.
Who wins?
And as we're going to see, when those two lock horns, English almost always chooses meaning. Consistency, it takes a backseat to utility.
See, I find that so validating, but also a little terrifying. I like rules. But okay, let's jump into the first way English breaks them. This one is about time travel, or at least tenses that have lost their watch.
Tenses that don't respect linear time. Yes.
Yes.
This is a big one. Because we usually think of tenses as a timeline. Past, present, future. Simple.
But it's not simple.
Yeah.
So get this. You're at a party, you're holding a drink, and your friend starts telling a joke. So I say, okay, so this guy walks into a bar.
A classic setup.
But stop and think about that. The joke, the story, it clearly happened in the past. It's over. But your friend said, walks. Present tense. Logic says they should say, a guy walked into a bar. Why do we all agree to use the wrong tense?
Well, strict logic would say it's wrong, yes. If the event is in the past, the verb should be in the past. But this is what linguists call the historical present.
The historical present.
It's a specific narrative device.
A narrative device. We're doing it on purpose.
Oh, absolutely. Think about how it feels. If I say a guy walked into a bar, it feels distant. It's a report. It's history.
Right, it's already done.
But if I say he walks into a bar, suddenly that timeline collapses. You aren't just listening to a report, you are watching the scene unfold.
It adds immediacy.
It adds trauma. It
Right.
forces your brain to simulate the event in real time. It turns you from an observer into a participant. You can see the doors swing open.
So we sacrifice chronological accuracy just for engagement. We lie about the time to keep the audience hooked.
Exactly. The key insight here is that tense and time are not the same thing. Tense is a grammatical form. It's how we conjugate a verb. Time is a physical reality. There's no law of physics that says a grammatical construction has to perfectly align with, an atomic clock. We bend the tool to suit the story.
Okay, so we use the present to talk about the past to make it exciting. I get that. But the sources point out we also do the exact opposite. We use the past to talk about the future.
We do, and this is where it gets really trippy. Consider this sentence. If it rained tomorrow, I would stay home.
If it rained tomorrow, okay, yeah, rained is past tense. Tomorrow is clearly future. Those two words shouldn't even be in the same sentence. It's a paradox.
But it works, right? You understand exactly what I mean when I say it.
I do, but why?
Because here, the past tense isn't doing the job of marking time, it's marking probability. Or rather, improbability.
So by using the past tense, I'm signaling that I don't think it's actually going to happen.
Precisely. Compare it to this. If it rains tomorrow, that's present tense. That implies this is a real possibility. The clouds are dark. I might need an umbrella. It feels close.
Right. It's on the table.
But if it rained tomorrow feels hypothetical. By using the past tense, you're creating distance. But it's not distance in time. It's distance from reality. You're sort of pushing the concept away from the now.
That is such a cool idea. So the past isn't just about yesterday. It's a bucket we put things in when we want to push them away.
Exactly. And that concept of distance actually leads us perfectly into the next example from the reading. This one blew my mind because I do it every day and never realized why. It's the waiter paradox.
Oh, yeah. The politeness of the past I think everyone listening has been in this situation.
You're at a nice restaurant, white tablecloths, soft lighting. The waiter comes up and asks, "Did you want to see the dessert menu?"
I've heard that a million times.
Yeah.
And technically, my desire for dessert is happening right now. I want that cake. Why is he asking me if I did want it? Like I changed my mind 10 minutes ago.
Again, it's about distance. But this time, it's not distance from reality, it's social distance.
Social distance. You mean like he's trying not to be intrusive?
Think about the alternative. If the waiter says, "Do you want the menu?" or "Do you want dessert?" it's very direct. It demands an immediate answer, yes or no.
It feels a bit aggressive.
Yeah.
Do you want it? Feels like he's tapping his foot, waiting for me.
Exactly. It kind of impinges on your autonomy. By using the past tense, "did you want?" the waiter is softening the request. He's creating a buffer. It implies that maybe you wanted it a moment ago, but hey, you might have changed your mind. It's hypothetical.
It gives me an out.
It gives you an out. It feels less like a demand and more like a polite suggestion you can easily decline. It acknowledges that you're the customer and you have the power.
That is just wild. So we use bad grammar, mismatched tenses, specifically to grease the wheels of social interaction.
We prioritize social harmony over grammatical logic. If being correct makes you sound rude, English speakers will choose to be incorrect every single time. We care more about being nice than being accurate.
I love that. Okay, let's move to the second big rule break. This one is about specificity. We usually think words have clear definitions, right? But the source calls this section, definites can be indefinite.
Right, and this revolves around words like this and the. In grammar terms, these are called definite determiners.
Meaning they point to something specific. Like if I say, hand me this cup, I mean the one right here, not just any cup in the world.
Correct. You expect the listener to know the specific object, but let's go back to your bar joke.
So this guy walks into a bar.
This guy. Now, be honest. Do you know who that guy is?
No, he's a total stranger.
Does the speaker expect you to know him? Has he been mentioned before?
No, not at all. It's the first sentence.
So why use this? This is supposed to be for specific, identified things. But here, this guy is functioning exactly the same as a guy. It's totally indefinite.
Huh. It's a complete stranger, yet we label him with this. It feels.
Yeah.
It feels like a lie.
It's a classic form-meaning mismatch. The form is definite, this, but the meaning is indefinite, some random person. But think about the vibe difference. A man walks into a bar versus this guy walks into a bar.
This guy feels, I don't know, punchier. Like there's a story already attached to him.
It feels energetic. Even though you don't know him, the word "this" psychologically pulls him closer to you. It signals to the listener, pay attention to this specific person. He's about to do something interesting.
So it's like a spotlight. We use a grammar word that means I know this thing just to force the listener to look at it.
Exactly. And the reading mentions this also happens with the word "the," but in a very specific context, nature documentaries.
Oh, the David Attenborough effect.
I love this.
You can just hear it. I can literally hear the music swelling. Imagine Attenborough whispering, "The female harvest mouse is at home among the grass blades."
Yes, the female harvest mouse.
Grammatically, the implies a specific mouse, like that one right there, Susan. But is he talking about Susan the mouse?
No, he's talking about the entire species. Every single female harvest mouse that has ever lived or ever will live.
So logically, he should say, female harvest mice are at home, plural, general. That's the accurate way to say all of them.
Yes, that would be logically accurate. But the female harvest mouse sounds
Elevated.
scientific. By using the singular "the," he turns the animal into a concept, a platonic ideal of a mouse. It sounds authoritative. It creates a sense of wonder that mice just doesn't capture. Mice are pests. The mouse is a noble creature.
Amazing how one little three-letter word changes the entire genre of the sentence. Okay, so next up on our list of crimes against grammar, the dummy in the sentence.
This is one of my favorites because it shows just how stubborn English syntax can be. It's arguably the weirdest thing we do.
The example here is the weather. We say, "It is snowing," or "It is sunny." My question, which I've had since I was a kid, is, who is it?
That is the question.
Is it the sky? The cloud? A weather god? Who is doing the raining?
In reality, it's nothing.
It's nothing. Then why are we saying it?
It's what linguists call a dummy pronoun. To understand why, you have to compare English to a language like Spanish. In Spanish, to say "it is raining," you just say llueve.
Just the verb. Rains.
Just the verb. The subject is implied. But English is neurotic. English has a very strict building code. Every single sentence must have a subject and a verb. You cannot just have a verb hanging out by itself.
It's a structural requirement. Like, you need a pillar right here, even if it's not holding anything up.
Exactly. In the sentence, "It is snowing," the word "it" has zero semantic meaning. It refers to nothing. But the grammar demands a subject, so we grab this meaningless word and we just jam it into the slot to keep the sentence from collapsing.
That is so bizarre when you think about it. You are vocalizing a sound that contains no information just to satisfy a rule book.
It just shows that English prioritizes structure over economy. We'd rather add a meaningless word than break that subject-verb pattern.
Okay, now we are getting into the deep water. The source material calls this next point the case of the raised object. And honestly, when I first read this, I had to read it twice. This feels like seeing the code in the Matrix.
It is a bit abstract, but once you see it, you really can't unsee it. It's about how sentences that look identical on the surface can have completely different structures underneath.
Okay, walk us through this slowly. We have two sentences. Sentence 1, she persuaded them to try it. Sentence 2, she intended them to try it.
They sound the same, right? Subject, verb, object, infinitive phrase. The rhythm is identical.
Exactly the same.
But let's look at the logic. In the first one, she persuaded them. Did she persuade them?
Yes. She talked to the people, and they were persuaded. The action happened to the people.
Correct. Them is the true object of the verb persuaded. You can even flip it to passive voice. They were persuaded by her.
Okay, that works. Now, sentence 2.
She intended them to try it.
When you say they were intended by her, they were no, that sounds like they're products on a shelf or something. You don't intend a person.
Exactly. Because she didn't intend the people. She intended the action, the outcome. The outcome was that they try it.
Oh, I see. So she intended them to try it. The word them isn't really the thing receiving the intention.
No. In the deep logical structure of that sentence, them is actually the subject of the second part of they try it. It belongs to the second half of the thought.
So why is it sitting in the object spot of the first part? Why do we say she intended them?
Because English does this trick called raising. It takes the subject of that lower clause, they, it hoists it up, and jams it into the object position of the main verb. So they becomes them.
It's a syntactic illusion.
It is. We say she intended them, but grammatically that's a lie. We really mean she intended that they try it. But English prefers to smooth it out by raising the object.
So we sacrifice logical precision just for flow. She intended them to try it. Just rolls off the tongue better.
It's efficient. It's cleaner. Even if it breaks the logic of what intend actually means. We want it to sound smooth, even if the underlying code is messy.
This brings us to our final rule-breaking category. And this one is about math, when numbers just don't add up.
Subject-verb agreement. The golden rule of grammar school. Singular subject gets a singular verb. Plural subject gets a plural verb.
Right. One mouse eats, two mice eat. Simple math.
Until breakfast time.
The breakfast conundrum. Bacon and eggs is a common breakfast.
Bacon and eggs. That is two things. Bacon and eggs is plural. So why do we use the singular verb is? Why not bacon and eggs are a common breakfast?
I mean, if you said are, it would sound weirdly formal, almost like a bettler is saying it.
The reason is what we call a semantic override. Our brain doesn't see bacon and eggs as two separate items on a list. We conceptualize the dish as a single unit, a bacon and eggs.
That's one idea, so it gets a singular verb.
Even though grammatically it is 100% plural. And the source gives a great counterexample. If you say bacon and eggs are ingredients in a breakfast burrito,
then you use are.
Because now you're thinking of them as separate components. You're picturing the bacon and then the eggs. The meaning changes the grammar.
That is wild. So my brain dictates the grammar rules in real time based on how I'm visualizing the food.
Precisely. And we see the reverse happen with collective nouns. Take the word team. Grammatically, a team is singular. One team.
Right. In America, we say the team is winning. One unit.
But if you listen to British sports commentary, you will often hear, the team work well together. Work is a plural verb.
The team work well. Yeah, that sounds wrong to my American ears, but I know it's standard over there.
In that case, the British speaker is thinking of the team not as a single entity, but as a collection of individuals running around. Semantically, it's a group of people, so they use a plural verb. They break the singular noun rule because the meaning feels plural.
It's like the language is constantly checking in with us, asking, hey, what do you actually mean? And then just adjusting the settings on the fly.
That's a beautiful way to put it. It shows that English isn't a rigid code. It's a flexible system that bends to our perception.
So let's just recap. We've got the historical present, where we use now to make then feel exciting. We got the polite past, where we use then to make now feel less aggressive.
We have definite words like this and the acting totally vague. We have dummy pronouns like it that exist just to hold up the walls of the sentence.
And we have raised objects, where subjects masquerade as objects for better flow, and breakfast foods that defy the laws of mathematics.
A comprehensive list of crimes against logic.
It really is.
Yeah.
But here's the big question, the so what? Why does this matter? Is this just trivia?
I don't think it's just trivia. I think it reveals something fundamental about human nature. These aren't bugs in the system. They are features.
Awesome.
If language were purely logical, purely functional, we wouldn't have the historical present or the polite past. We would just transmit data. I want cake. Event happened yesterday. Rain is occurring.
We'd sound like robots.
Exactly. The fact that we break these rules allows us to do things that are uniquely human. It allows us to be polite and save face, to be dramatic and capture attention, to group concepts together efficiently.
It proves that communication prioritizes connection over the rulebook. We care more about how the message lands than how it's constructed.
Connection and concept over rigid adherence. That's the core of human language. It's messy because we're messy.
I love that. And I want to leave you with a thought that really stuck with me from typing this.
Let's hear it.
Imagine we programmed an AI to strictly, perfectly follow the rules of English grammar. No exceptions.
You would be technically perfect.
Technically perfect.
Yeah.
But to us, it would sound wrong. It would sound rude. It would sound cold.
That's a profound thought.
It suggests that correctness in language isn't actually defined by the rules. It's defined by our shared, illogical, messy human habits. The errors are what make us sound human.
I couldn't agree more. The flaws are the flavor.
Well said. That's a wrap for this deep dive into the beautiful mess of the English language. Thanks for learning with us.
It was a pleasure.
See you next time.